Welcome back to Chaos Head Noah. Is the Noah part like a Noah's Ark thing? Too many questions that maybe will be answered eventually and such. I will not bother asking them. Last time, let me hit the continue button. Yes, I would like to load. I would like to maybe even open my load, one might say. Oh yes, this line. Can we do like a it's not letting me. Okay, it is letting me. So true, fly and cross. Ay. So where we left off, approximately speaking, lady who was kidding the guy that may also be the person that was DMing us on our gaming escapade, our MMO professional, aka professional job, aka this, that, and the other. We've stumbled upon a situation in which we really don't have that much, like, recompense. We have evidence in us as well, or in our little enclosure in which we reside. I'm a little, if you may, I may or may not have imbibed some soju, so there may be this commentary may be a little bit different to the regular, but don't worry about that. Is she gonna keep singing about the flying cross? She is going to keep singing. We don't know who this is. I'm gonna use the royal we a lot. Me, Takumi. It's not Takuji. That's Subahiri. That's the different guy. Shumatsu. Late into the night, the sound of a beautiful voice could be heard throughout Miyashita Park. Miyashita. Is that who it is? It was coming from a pedestrian bridge that crossed over Meijidori. A steady flow of cars passed underneath, but in spite of this, the girl known as FES, or Fess, who knows, showed no sign of being affected by the noise. She simply kept on singing, leaning back against the handrail of the bridge. I mean, this is definitely peak lean over and watch the lights of the city type of environment. I don't think I've ever really been like in a place with this level of cityness and having this overpass. It seems sort of like a mismatch to have a little overpass like this and also this level of city usually. I don't know if that's like maybe it's just not what we do in Australia then again. On any normal day, if she were to sing on the street in public, she's not on the street technically, and also she's not that loud. In public like this, she would surely attract hundreds of onlookers, but right now nobody was listening to her sing. I don't know on what basis we're saying that she's gonna attract hundreds. Okay. For Fess was deliberately concealing her presence, blending into the stillness of the night. Who's witness to this? Or are we just like... Are we... Don't interrupt you while you're singing. Are we this disembodied observer mode? Is that what's going on right now? That's why she could loiter quietly until the moon left the sky behind. By doing so, by becoming one with the darkness, she felt as if she could free herself from the corrupt... Why did I say corrupt? As if it was a Japanese word. A corrupt atmosphere of Shibuya. Shibuya, if only for a moment. That was what Fess felt to be true. What is she talking about? Okay. Suddenly Fess looked up to the night sky. The clouds covering it were starting to clear up, little by little, leaving space for the moonlight to shine through in their wake. But sadly, and in all starlight, were completely drowned out by the dazzling neon of Shibuya. Oh, my bad, yo. Yes, so true. We are going to... Is it tsunagite? We're going to connect. Tsunaguru? I don't know how you conjugate that in the... Oh, fuck. Third person has hit the phrase. Oh, no. Now we know 3 people who say sonome dare no me. So we have Fess, we have Shogun slash person who killed the person. We have our fellow, our Nishijo Takumi, yes. Oh, about dead past, I spent pretty much every hour in base lord. I'd hardly ever even made time to eat. I would immerse myself fully. Where is the bathroom? I assume, because we're on top of the building, I guess you could just go down the floor with you and just shit there, I guess. Aero.jpg. The .jpg with the CD file explorer thing is an interesting... Well, while I have the opportunity, let me see what we got. Epic finds. We got a bunch of sound data. Do not open, which is the same as recycle bin. The ESO and a couple of... I don't know what's going on here. Miku.mp3 is good though. And ESO is on absolute gods. No demon could ever strike fear into my heart. And I was respected by everyone. I'm going full Australia for this. If only I could live in such a comfortable world for all eternity, I was certain I'd be far happier that way. Can I play it, bro? Bro is still getting hyped. That's how you know the game's got sauce. Angelic circlet for the win. Wouldn't you not want to do that? Announce it? Someone's gonna raid you, bro. You're gonna get PK'd. Guys, someone's knocking on our fucking... Guys, someone's knocking on the damn... Huh? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Guys, there's someone's at the damn door, bro. Oh, is it the Halo that we got? Oh, it's his sister. I have rumors of an incest route in this actually being real, so we'll see. Maybe that'll be the first one. Finally, another leisure item to add to my collection. Naturally, I was stoked. My depression from earlier be completely blown away. Gambling cycle. The angelic circle had a drop rate of 0.0001%. It was so rare, some players thought it was unattainable. Well, its stats were shit, so it's pretty much just a cosmetic item, but that was good enough. People could tell you had an angelic circuit just by looking at you, which was enough to make anyone go in with envy. Back in the day when you could just get some of the stuff without paying for it. Am I right, fellow gamers? Look, I felt bad saying that. That's a phrase that should be, you know, lost in history, but you know what? Oni. Is there a full, like, angelic set? Well, I'm glad we have someone checking on us at least. Shut up! Who the hell has been banging on my door for so goddamn long? I can tell you. Just when I finally managed to get a hold of a rare item, this happened. Couldn't a man enjoy his victories for 1 second? Does she love him or does she hate him? That was my question at the beginning of my first stream. We'll see. Yeah, that voice. The moment I realized what it was, my mood instantly took a nosedive. There was no mistaking it. That was the voice of an assassin, sat by my parents, my little sister Nanami. What a pain in the ass. Whoa, shit. You came the storm to rain on my parade? I really didn't want to let her in, but if I didn't, my parents would really get on my case about it. Stop living alone and move back in with us, they'd say. Americans reading this, wondering why it's in reverse. I'd ignore them if I could, but my dad basically owned this building, so it'd take just a snap of his fingers for him to kick me out. Sayakudana. STFU? So true? I swear her voice was so shrill it could shatter glass. Can we just open the damn door? She's gonna walk in and be hit with the tissue, the stench of used tissues. It's not gonna be pleasant. The banging just didn't stop. I mean, looks at camera. And since the metal walls were pretty thin, the sound echoed loudly all throughout the container. Nanami was well aware of that. In fact, that was exactly why she was doing it. Bro's padlocking this shit as well. Oh, bottom up. I appreciate that. Can we get a pan? We can get a pan. Oh, hello. She's so cute. Routine survival check, you say? This baby face run. Don't mean was my little sister. She was a year younger than me.
鬼死んじゃったかもって思ったじゃん。
Of course, the first thing out of her mouth was bitching, and to make things worse, she was standing there with her hands on her hips like the bratty little shit she was, the spitting image of irritated. She can check on my bonus anytime, bro. Her existence brought me nothing but suffering.
うわ、相変わらず部屋の中汚な。ちょっとは片付けなよ。
So true. Oh. Hello. And she's got a fucked up pose, which is peak. She's bent, she's leaning. Nanami just waltzed right on in without even asking. What the hell did she think she was doing? What, did she think she could get away with what she wanted just because she was my little sister? She may be right. And to think there were people out there who seriously did believe that little sisters were more like they are in like a lay fiction. I always wanted to tell those guys how much of an epic fail that was. Epic fail mentioned? Well, even though she was my sister, she certainly did look unsavory. Isn't interesting. I wonder what the original line was in Japanese. She had a rori body type, so I could see why that might make her pretty damn popular in some circles. But as her older brother, I didn't care about that. I wasn't into her at all. As far as I was concerned, she was downright repulsive, not to mention immature. It didn't help that she smelled like piss. She smells like piss? Is that something? Is that like a medical thing? Did she just? Is his nose broken? That's just like everything else makes perfect sense so far, but that line feels like it reveals something. Not to say I didn't like lollies, of course, just only 2D ones. Fuhihi. So true. Peak face. I don't remember what other character I like a lot with this face or expression. Sumika kind of has this like mouth going on. I don't think she had that face. The eyes. Well, I do know Mari Mari, the VTuber, has got an expression like this as well. I mean, it's a classic, but I'm just thinking of examples.
まあ、どうせ掃除してくれる彼女なんかいないだろうし、鬼ってズボラだから、こうなるのは目に見えてるけどさ。
Guys, we can clean up on our own, okay? We're strong, independent men who can pick up garbage. Look, I'm looking at the one box I do have on my desk. It could constitute garbage, but this is the one thing in which I'm a little bit recalcitrant to just immediately chuck stuff out. Am I using that right? It flowed pretty well. Recalcitrant. Uncooperative. Maybe that works. I'll make it work. Because if something just arrived, like if I've just bought something from, online or whatever, and it comes in a box from the packaging, I love opening shit. I should just be buying stuff. I've recently discovered AliExpress, so I think it's over for me. It'll be T-minus like 2 months until I start just getting a Chinese phone number and calling up the factory owners, being like, can I get this here? But suffice to say, whenever there's like a box to open, I always leave the most recent set of stuff I get, like the boxes, because just in case I need to return it, I can just use the same box that it came in rather than doing anything else, I feel like I don't want to have to go out and get a box just to return something. That's already enough. But anyway, suffice to say, also the music is good here.
こうなったら、やっぱりナナが掃除しに来てあげるしかないかな。
And this is another thing of like, in the translation, it will be impossible to, not impossible, but she like third personed herself in that sentence, which I think is it's a charm point, which is lost if you don't notice it, Yeah, I know, JoJo reference, bro, I've been there.
なんでよ。
Look at her face.
お前に部屋荒らされたくない。
He's such a wimp though, it's so good. I like it.
それがわざわざ生存確認しに来てあげてる妹に言うセリフ？
Maybe things would change if you showed your older brother a little respect. I don't think you deserve it, buddy. And why should I be grateful that you're checking on me? I sure as hell didn't ask for that. That's fair, though, to be honest with you.
まったく
Jeez Louise is...
面倒ばっかりかけさせる兄弟と血つながってるん
It's
だ
a choice to use Jeez
たまに嫌にな
Louise.
っちゃうよ
It works. It works. But not for me, because I'm not an American. Then again, if they would translate this to Australian, what would it be like? Bloody hell. Fucking... I fucked up my own accent for that. I was trying to impromptu it. But...
なんか喉乾いちゃった飲み物もらうね
Don't open the fridge. It contains some fucked up shit. And then he walked right past me and over to the mini fridge. Once again, acting like she owned the place. Oh shit.
コーラしかないじゃんミルクティーとか用意しといてよ
Okay, but what does this delusion choice mean? Are we? Is this like letting her or not letting her? I'll let her. Of course I'll let her, bro. We're
知らんがな
we say yes. I don't know what we're saying yes or no to, but we're saying yes here.
しょうがないなじゃあコーラもらうね
Surprise, fucking surprise. She went ahead and did as she pleased. There's a thing called permission, you know. Grabbed the bottle of cola from the fridge, one I already drank from, no less, and after only a second of hesitation, she cracked it open and gulped it down. What does that part mean? What are we delusioning here? Her soft throat rose and fell seductively, pumping the soda down with an audible gulp. I'm not gonna do the gulping noises. I'm not that gratuitous.
コップ使えよ
What's the reason to use a cup, bro? What's a bottle between siblings, I guess? And she certainly drank straight from the bottle even though she was a girl. That's not insane non sequitur, but I guess it's fine. What a disgrace. This is exactly why 3D sucked ass. Me when women don't drink from cups. So true, I guess. Or whatever. If it works. As soon as Nanami finished her drink, she went right back to powder like before. Though, was it just me or did it seem like she was blushing a little?
だって
Yo.
ナナはお兄と関節キスしたかったんだもん
Now, what I don't know yet is whether these delusions are actually... It seems like the implication of the game's premise is that the delusions are actually affecting reality. That he has, like, an unknown power. In that first instance, we had delusions. I clicked the affirmative option to going to the site of the murder. And so we imagined essentially going there. And then we then went there and it was as we imagined it, right? So is this a scenario where we imagined, you know, the embarrassing mortal moment and now we're getting it, but this is the imagination is now going to happen? Is that one of those scenarios, or is he just like in his mind palace?
Huh?
It's still wobbling the screen, which I almost didn't notice because it's a lot less subtle when everything is sort of fixed. And just like that, she dropped the bombshell. She still kept her pouty attitude, but now she was looking straight at me. She's kind of not, though. I was paralyzed. My little sister was on the verge of tears, and all I could do was just stand and stare. Was I on the little sister out there breaking the fourth wall?
軽蔑した
Do you hate me? Women love asking, do you hate me, though. That's damn true. And men, to be honest. I also, like, it's so funny to ask, do you hate me?
だとしたらナナ悲しくなっちゃうな
Again, she refers to herself as Nana. Which is nice.
言っとくけどお兄相手じゃなきゃこんなことしないんだからね
So true? Nanami's voice gradually lowered.
バカ
Oni no baka. Men spend their whole lives waiting for this. Her voice was a faint murmur as she hung her head in shame. There wasn't a single trace of her typical bratty attitude. Bratitude, some might say. Yes! Oh shit! Oh, Adam, I was like, do I need to get this off the screen? No, we're safe, I think. We're just safe.
関節だけじゃ
Okay, I'm gonna bring up the stream transition. Oh no. I mean, oh yes, but for my channel's sake, oh no. Hearing that, I tried to gulp, but the saliva got caught in my throat and refused to go down. With that, I was completely cornered, though I still didn't really understand what Nanami
お
meant.
兄とキスしたいわ。
Although it would be quite something if you just like was sat on the couch, just like imagining this, going into his like mental goon cave, and then his sister's just standing there like, bro, I'm just drinking cola. There would be a if there was true delusion mode.
お兄が欲しいよ。
Nanami took a step closer to my petrified body. What should I do? I'd always Nanami as this obnoxious little brat, but right now, my heart was pounding out of my
兄
chest.
ちゃん
I thought there was more to that.
16年間も我慢してきたんだよ。
Sure? Nanami reached her arms out and wrapped them around my
キ
neck.
スして。
Are we gonna get a choice here? She was almost begging. Then she raised her chin ever so slightly. Are we gonna get a CG? Kind of. I closed her eyes. And my answer
いや
was...
その理屈はおかしい。
That was how I was gonna say. The delusion didn't work. The Jesus Christ. The logic fell apart. I'd zoned out and let my delusions run wild again. I'd never felt so disgusted with myself in my life. Like, OMG, buff. Just totally buff. And then I started thinking, maybe if we weren't blood related, but that takes the fun out of it, you see. And she fell a little more into the cute little sister archetype. I wouldn't be such a virgin loser.
どうしたの？
Okay, this was a delusion. Okay, but then it's going to happen, no? Because that's how it worked last time. Snap out of it. I took a deep breath and forced the disgusting thoughts out of my
帰れ
mind.
よ。
You did your whole survival check thing, and now your job here is done, right? Why do you feel the need to barge in here every
お
time?
兄冷たい。
Seemed like I'd managed to offend her somehow. She pursed her lips into a pout and glared at me. I was already done with her shit, though, so I looked away.
せっかく心配して様子を見に来てあげてるのに、お兄ってずっとここに引きこもって誰とも喋らずに一日を終えちゃうことだってあるんでしょ？
Honestly, sometimes that's the vibe, man.
女の子と話す機会だってどうせ全くないんだよね。
Well, that is some downside. But hey, the modern advent of the internet, you know, people used to say there are no girls on the internet. It used to be a thing that people said, but I mean, I don't think it was ever true, and certainly it's not true now. Shut up! Stop making fun of me, you stupid bitch! I'm not into 3D girls, so why would I ever bother talking to them?
言ってみればお兄と話す女の子はナナだけってことじゃん。だからさ、もっとナナのこと大事にしてよ。そしたら女の子との接し方もちょっとは分かってくるはずだし。
While she was nagging, Nanami picked up one of my figures, Hikaru-tan from The Suicideful Hikari. But wait, what? Hikaru from Hikari? They were just twins, or what's to do with this? Don't touch my wife, Fuse, without asking. If you leave it a single fingerprint, I will actually beat the shit out of you. I don't think he's got that dog in him.
あと、お兄は自分のことにもっと気を使って。こんなお人形さんにうつつを抜かしてる場合じゃないよ。
Yeah, that's just not true, okay? We have to, this has to be corrected, for sure.
なりたくないからね。
There's no such thing. Felt like what the hell was she trying to imply? Felt like she'd been becoming more and more like mom lately. Mom to American you. Which meant that she'd gotten even more fucking annoying. Shut the fuck up.
いいから帰れよ。
そんなに帰れと言わ
Yes!
ないでよ。お兄のバカ。
Oni no baka. Peak sprite.
まだこっちには用事が残ってるの。
She's not done. She was getting more hysterical by the minute. If I met her any angrier, things would get out of hand, so chill out,
携
me.
帯買いに行こう。
は
What did she
お
just
父
said?
さんがそうしろって。お兄が携帯持てばいつでも生存確認できるじゃん。
I mean, you could just automate this, couldn't you, though? If you're smart about this, you should say yes to this so that people stop disrupting you in real life, and you can go silent mode. I guess then they will sure disrupt you, but
お金はナナが預かってきたから今から買いに行こうよ。今時携帯持ってない人なんていないよ。
It's
時
true.
代に取り残されちゃうよ。
Shut up already, you teenage trend chasing bitch. How dare you really live under a rock? I'm not the one who lives under a rock here, you wrong side. The internet gives me all the information I need. Well, she was right about one thing. These days it was normal for a high school student to have a phone, and I didn't have one. Of course, that was because I'd never use it anyway. I didn't have anyone to call or text. I didn't want to pay for something I wasn't going to use. I guess that. I think Canada has really expensive mobile services, but everywhere else, I think, especially in India, where you can just get there for cheap, like, it's basically a thing of the past to really worry about paying for at least messages. Data is more, you know, but things are just more downloading. Like sizes are bigger these days anyway.
だから行こ
Ready to head out?
う。どうせお兄は機種とかわかんないだろうから、ナナと同じ機種にしちゃいなよ。
How cute. As she said that, she took her own phone out of her bag and showed it off like some precious heirloom. Are we gonna get to see it? We are.
ほら、これがナナの。色が可愛いでしょ。
Dun. I'm just taking screenshots to use as thumbnails, no other reason. Is that the guy from... this is the frog from the Steins Gate phone background, so he must be a recurring, like, mascot character. I don't remember the lore.
ついでだから
In the universe.
ストラップも同じのあげるよ。
うわなんという手抜きキャラ。
This character hanging from the phone strap was far from cute. It looked horrible. There was no way a professional had designed it. You'd be surprised, buddy. It looked like one of those shit tier ugly cute characters, or like one of those official government
手抜きじ
mascots.
ゃないもん。ゲロカイルンは
Gerokai,
こういうデザイン
yeah,
の
yeah, yeah.
今すっごく流行ってるんだからね。
Hayatteru.
女子高生の流行なんてお兄が知ってるわけないか。
Does anyone except the high school girls? I feel like that's sort of like outside
そう
looking
い
in
うとこ
type
を
shit.
直せば少しは女子と会話成立すると思うよ。きっと。
Well, like, I don't mean to, you know, it's probably hard enough for, like, I'm trying to, I guess it wouldn't really, if we're talking real life, it really wouldn't. I don't think anyone, like, outside of neurodivergency or other related, like, conversational struggles, it's probably not that hard to do it. If you're not interested in them, it's probably easier. Or harder, I don't know how it works. God damn it, just shut the fuck up, bro, you trend chasing bitch. Seriously, what is this Geralt frogging garbage? There's no way this thing is popping. Anyone without a brain could tell you that, bro. I was ranting. She didn't realize she was just being played by the media. It was honestly sad.
っていうか今はゲロカイルンの話じゃなくていいから携帯買いに行こうよ。あ、別にお揃いがいいとか言ってるわけじゃないからね。家族で同じ機種だと基本料金が割引される。
Do I get to keep the difference? Otherwise, what does it matter to me? It's not my money, right?
家族で持ってないのはお兄だけなんだからね。
Have they been running this kind of promotion? That's it. I wonder if that was really a thing. I guess it kind of is in like a phone plan sense these days. It does exist, like.
いらない。
なんで？お金はお父さんが出してくれるんだよ。
必要ない。
It'll be a nuisance if anything. If I had a phone, Mom would definitely call every day. If I kept ignoring those calls, they keep sending little messages, and none of me over here lay on the pressure. Family life would become even more of a living hell, and I have to start being way more careful as a result. I couldn't let that
もう
happen.
信じらんないよこのバカ鬼。もう帰る。
ああ、そうしてくれ。
I mean, that's kind of what he wanted, though. I opened the door for her to finally leave, but Nanami didn't budge an inch. She just shut her arms down to her son, looking even more upset than before.
ほんとバカ。アホバカ鬼。駅まで送ってくれるとかしてよ。
Well, she does love him. Otherwise, this wouldn't be. She would just literally leave. But she wants something from him.
嫌だね。
She never acted like this before. Why did she suddenly want me to walk her to the station? What was so special about today? I wonder if this part is changed since we made the affirmative delusion. Now she loves us.
だって最近殺人事件とかで物騒じゃんか。こういう場合
物騒じゃんか
心配するのが兄弟ってもんでしょ。
Yesterday's events are resurrected to my mind once again, if only for a second. I frantically shook my head trying to get that gruesome scene out of my mind, and I just barely managed to.
どうでもいいし。
りえないナナが死んでもいいって言うんだ
Is she crying? Is that what we're doing here? No, anyways, tearing up. Tearing up? That's not how you pronounce it when there's this conjugation, this meaning. It seemed like my words had really gotten to her. Serves you right, maybe you should think twice about disturbing my peace and quiet, Alexander. It's just my own way of taking a little revenge for once. Get fucked.
バカ死んじゃえお兄なんか猟奇的に殺されちゃえ
That seemed plausible for us right now. I can't lie. Did she smack us? Oh, she pushed past us and ran away. Close enough. Ah, peace and quiet. Literally peaceful and quiet, one might say. This was how things should always be around here. My own perfect little world where stupid bullshit wasn't allowed. Now, time to jork it. Should I get my mouse a little clear? The setup on screensaver. Screen remembers fucking screensavers, bro. Remember screens? I should put a screensaver back on my PC, man. That would be fun. You literally have pretty well, to be honest. If you are nostalgic for a time period, you can at least embody some elements of it. You can turn your pretend plays into reality if you really want it to be that way. Anyway, my cola bottle was empty.
しまった。これナナミがさっき飲んだやつだ。
Oh god. I just had indirect kiss with my little sister. I'm gonna puke. Didn't you just like it? Ah, yes. Maybe if she was a little more charming, it would have been the kind of irrigate-like situation I could fap to. Remember fap? We don't say that shit these days. But with that horrible personality, no chance. If anything, only maybe more flaccid. You can't get more flaccid than base flaccid. Maybe you can, just shrinkage, right? I put the cat back on the bottle, then threw it in the big garbage bag in the corner of my room. He has a garbage bag. Then what's the garbage doing everywhere? It just bounced off the wall rolls on my bed. Well, whatever. Ah, yes. The annoying real world. Hopping on my gaming? What happened to my Halo? Just one day later, my immersion will be broken again. What a shame, really. My mental side had been on the up and up lately, but the moment I stepped outside, it all came crashing down again. I think I'm gonna stop reading every single line unless it's really like something I feel like reading, because I want to lift myself of the obligation. Also, I don't want to make this longer because like I read this in like a second, you know.
なんで今日なんだよ。
But I let the voice lines play out, especially since I'm streaming it. Also, every single video of this is copyright claimed, but luckily it won't stop uploading it. I couldn't just take the day off because my minimum attendance chart will get thrown off. Yes, we've discussed this.
卒業って何を卒業するって言うんだよ。
You're graduating from school, bro. The funny mean, what are you graduating from? I was one insisting on going through with it, but I couldn't help but complain. I had been feeling a gaze for a while now. Not the usual God's gaze, which is real, apparently. I did feel shivers on the back of my neck. Someone's stalking me. Oh. Is that... I don't think that was the sister. Could a girl wearing a swimmer uniform? No, that was not the demon from yesterday. My walking became stilted. I could faintly hear the sounds of birds chirping on top of the phone lines. You heard the news playing in nearby homes? How close were you to the homes, bro? And how thin are their walls and how loud is the damn news? In a peaceful scene like this, where crime would seem completely out of place. Totally. I came close to imagining myself getting brutally murdered. Okay. It wasn't like I clearly seen their face or anything. There was nothing strange about seeing swimmer students walking behind me. I'll be fine. Why don't you just confront her, bro? I was worried about what could be behind me, but I just desperately suppressed the urge to turn around. Keep my cool. I slowly turned around. Oh, I keep missing it before I can even see her face. All I can see is her hair. I missed it on the replay as well on my Twitch stream. I made eye contact for a second, but I panicked and turned back around. Why was she following me? This path was obviously the long way to school. That meant she had to be tailing me. Okay, he saw that she was wearing glasses. I didn't see, but yeah, obviously she was not the demon girl from yesterday. I had to skip my routine breakfast at the park because of it, but oh well, it's not like you're eating anything that you couldn't just like sneak in class. Yeah, I remember eating in school, like not eating in like classes itself. It's so funny to look back at school and realize so many, like literally almost every single rule is made up and it only works. And this also is somewhat true of society, but society is like a different kind of social contract, maybe, right? There's nuance to it. But how many of the rules are literally just made up so that, like, expediency of operation and like infrastructure, like times when, like when you're allowed to eat lunch, where you're allowed to go, minus like obvious places where you can't be wandering around. Like you can't just be opening random drawers in the damn teachers, what's it called, halls, rooms. But like the idea that if you were eating in a class, the teacher was just like, you can't eat. It's like, bro, I'm hungry. What do you mean I can't eat? Like, what are we doing here? You know. But on some level, I get it, because like another thing that you also need to remind yourself of when you look back at the ridiculousness of that is the idea that like kids are hell to teach in a real sense, right? Like we were annoying for no reason, and we were some of the, maybe one of the more better behaved schools you could get, right? Like, you know, we didn't even have like, you know, other schools have had incidents of like bringing knives in. I guess we actually, you know, sometimes we had that like once or twice, but like, you know, compared to that kind of stuff, we basically didn't have any problems.
女子 A 名
Josh Yame. To me, you're just some background character. So true. Stay out of my way, god damn it. Can we talk to her? I'd like to. He wouldn't though. After entering school, girl A disappeared. She turned and headed towards the third-year classrooms. It's definitely weird that she took the same detour I have. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, but that is an interesting point. I mean, we got introduced to Fess, who seems unrelated to the story up until the point where she mentioned the thing that is kind of the calling card of this entire vision novel. But then this girl also kind of, I don't think that was anywhere we knew as well, right? So, what the hell was she trying to accomplish? Oh, we're gonna talk to our main man? No, we skipped school. Okay. We're heading to the Chud Cafe. This time there was someone in room 36. I'm gonna give you one guess as to who it is. Having someone nearby poses a bit of a problem. I have the tendency to talk to myself sometimes. Well, whatever. As long as I don't do all that.
だよこいつら
Oh. People I partied up with today were told, you're old, bro. What do you mean? It's just like if you're smurfing and you're like, my teammates are shit. Like, come on, buddy. One went all Leroy Jenkins and just died repeatedly. Shout out Leroy Jenkins. The other was a mage without healing spells. Well, mages don't need to cast healing spells, to be fair. But we kept getting full party wipe. Is that the pirate software thing? I don't know how. I still, to this day, that's such a funny, like, unraveling. I don't want to get into, like, generational drama, because, like, I don't give a shit. If I don't, like, there are streamers of whom, like, I really couldn't give, like, yeah, there are, like, tiers of levels of caring, right? Most streamers, I'm sort of like, literally, who cares? Even if I follow them, I only really followed them at some point, probably just because they were doing like one stream, or because like they were playing in a category that I was interested in. Because I don't my follows and subscribes like are very low barrier to entry, but high barrier to exit. To get unfollowed or unsubscribed, you have to be dreadful. You have to be really dreadful, right? At least you not dreadful as in like evil, but like annoying to my feed. Like if I click something and you show up on my screen and I'm like, I'm sighing rather than just scrolling past, like I don't give a shit, because I don't give a shit about most things, right? But you know, fuck these shitty players. I'm sure to peek at both of them, steal the items, and escape to another area. Yes, he's unleashing his evil. I breathed a sigh of relief and went to grab a drink. his lack of curiosity at who's talking to him is low concerning. And also not connecting for someone who's paranoid, not connecting the person that was next to him in a place where that nobody usually ever is to the person that may have followed him around in the morning. I guess she stopped following him once he was in school, she only really like took the detour, but whatever. Or you can drink soda fountains. Oh, we're creeping. I took a peek inside, but there was no one in there. We got a bunch of little the ghetto kai. Everything seems perfectly normal. School bag, a bunch of ghetto froggies. Yeah. Not like I cared either way. Yeah, you noted non-pervert Takumi. However, right as I went to leave, my eyes caught a glimpse of the text on that monitor and I froze. Seems like it's off right now, buddy. I forgot to add the text here. All things new gen. Okay. I mean, to be fair, if you're gonna look up like some stuff like this, maybe going to a net cafe isn't the worst idea. I'd be deliberately avoiding any info about those cases. I really didn't want to know anything more about them. Yeah, he's on the copium right now. That this will not come back to bite me in the ass. Which is, like, obviously it's going to, but whatever. More importantly, the customer next door to me was looking at a site lining out everything about New Gen. Yeah. I shook my head violently, trying to force these horrible thoughts away. Yeah, I'm just paranoid. Guy who thinks people are watching him all the time thinks that he's paranoid right now. Yep, no doubt about it. Let's get my drink. Are we gonna bump into her? Yo, the fountain's been modeled. This looks more like a coffee machine than a fountain, but I guess it's like one of those button press, like, different sort of kinds. It's hard to get a good fountain. Depends on where you get it, I suppose. Delicious ice cold cola. Non-branded. There were already a few customers standing by the front desk waiting to be shown to their rooms, and Dr. got more people would show up. Took my cup and headed back down the street. On the way, I casually glanced down the hall toward the bathrooms. That's when... Oh, hello. That's her. Same girl that's been tailing me this morning. I mean, obviously. Thought it might have been mistaken, so I hid behind some bookshelves and looked toward that corridor for a while, but she never showed up again. The toilet. Must have just been my imagination. Come on, buddy. I mean, I would also think I was a bit crazy if this was happening to me, to be fair. If she was here, what would that mean? Was it just a coincidence, or had she followed me? I was starting to get a little scared, so I did nothing about it. Rushing back to my base. I mean, that's fair. Get home as soon as possible, but the crowded sidewalk will slow me down. Are we gonna go back to the alley? Surely not, right? You would probably avoid it nowadays. I always felt like people watching me and snickering. People laughing at me. Okay. Girl A is not following us presently. As soon as I reach the top of Dogenzaka, I don't know. Walking got a lot easier. Usually I would, that was a bad time to scroll up. I didn't think we were gonna get that flash. Usually I would take the least crowded way back, but after what had happened 2 nights ago, I figured I should just stick to the main streets just to be safe. Fair enough. The girl that's in that cafe might have been a different person after all. Especially, I mean, this guy, I don't think he would remember anyone that's been in his class or school this entire time. So that's basically everyone's a stranger to him. So I wouldn't, like, if you were in that situation, you would think like it was a bit weird and you might be a bit crazy, but I doubt you would also dig into it. Not even taking into account the fact of what's been going on apart from that. Ooh. There she fucking is, bro. I mean, yes, buddy, we're going yes. Shocked, I took a step back. On the other side of the crosswalk, standing among the crowd... Oh, we gotta save, I forgot. Hopefully saving here doesn't cause any problems. I don't know what it means yet, because I haven't done any... I don't know what the difference is, and I haven't bothered to, like, quick save and change it yet. We'll do that later. Because I like to keep it, you know, just chugging along straight line type shit. To make matters worse, the gaze beyond those glasses was clearly pointed straight at me. She didn't even try to look away. Her eyes were so intense, it was as if they were urging me to do something. Be one with me. Be one with me, Takumi. We're activating our delusion power. Delusion no jutsu. The world is warping. The pedestrian signal turned green. Girl A and the rest of the crowd started walking forward. Come here. She was coming my way. I couldn't move. I was absolutely petrified. I know. She didn't look away from me, not even for a second. She just kept drawing closer and closer. I mean, this is our dream vision, I think. Until she stopped right in front of me. My instincts were telling me to run, yet for some reason I couldn't move an inch. I felt like my consciousness had left my body. Sometimes it does hit hard. But the girl reached her hand into her jacket, aiming for one of her inner pockets. Her motion seemed deliberate, as if she wanted me to see what she was doing. A knife, a pistol, a stun gun. I think it may be like a hand that we like Yoshikage Kira posting. So she got a staple in her hair. Maybe I just watched too much TV, but I had a bad feeling. I just couldn't shake. Kore, you drop this, right? That's what's gonna happen. The gaze deep beneath her glasses was unflinching. Is it gonna be the steak? Oh, that would get us twisted. She'd been staring straight into my eyes for what felt like an eternity. Huh? She held out something to me. Shoot an ID. Okay, but what happened with the morning following? Just her smiley tone is not matching her face. But that happens. I took the ID with that much thought. The ID was mine. So the cute girls in this. I support this. Her expression, which had been stone cold until just a second ago, was now beginning to relax a little. What was there to see? Well, that was anticlimactic. Guess my paranoia had been screwing me after all, huh? I like how his fantasy is like, oh, she wasn't doing anything ominous. But included in his fantasy is the idea that she was building up to something scary. I guess it has to make sense, right? What broke his delusional immersion last time was like the fact that he just didn't follow. He literally couldn't believe being so into imagining his sister. So maybe this time it'll actually stick. Maybe it'll stick long enough to be real. I mean, listen. You can't escape. Well, most people can't escape. Wishing to desire and be desired, to love and be loved, man. No matter how much artifice you stack above your true soul, it yearns. One yearns. A bit of crazy eyes going on here. I like it. Yes. Time for my new life as a normie to finally begin. Flag. Oh. He's like, oh. Hong Kong. Suddenly snapped out of it. The pedestrian signal, which I thought turned green, was still red, and girl A, who should have been right firmly, was now back on the other side of the street. Yeah, bro, I pressed the delusion button. But now she's gonna show up, though. But she won't cross, will she? She just stood there, staring me down from a distance. But this is even more strange, though. We were the only ones standing still, as if time had frozen for just the two of us. Just the two of us. What was the glasses across in the street? I don't know, that bit was so forced. Why was she just standing there? It was strange. Really, really strange. So true. But I should just run. And yet, bro, you seem to be moving closer. Run. Oh, he ran. Whipping my weak, withering heart into shade. Why is it withering? Bro's dying? I broke into a sprint. Around. Oh no, he turned to enter a back alley, bro. His instincts brought him back. He can't escape it. She's gonna be there waiting for him. I ran back down Dogenzaka. I don't know where the emphasis lies on this word. I'm trying to put as much distance between me and girl A as I could. On the way, I turned to enter a back alley. and rather than I crashed into something and toppled over. Pain shot throughout my entire body, so bad I could hardly stand. Oh shit. The bike. Big motor scooter. I don't know what is it. Scooters are the ones with the flat bottoms, right? You know what I mean. I gritted my teeth and tried to force myself to my feet, but my legs just weren't able to hold me up. That's concerning, but
大丈夫ですか？
is this go 4? Who do we have? We have the killer, aka Shogun. We have our sister. We have Fess, who's not involved yet. We have Glasses Girl, and maybe this is go 5 then, if it's the new one completely. Oh no, it isn't the new one. It's the girl A. I'm just taking some screenshots. Don't mind me. She was peering into my face, eyes full of concern. Is she gentle, or is this like there's a crazy undertone going on here? We're not playing Danganronpa anymore, so I think I'm gonna trust that these characters are face value type. A little bit at least. Like, I shouldn't assume that they're not just because they are. Which again, in that game, you also shouldn't, to be fair, but... What the hell was up with this girl? My body wouldn't move. As pathetic as it sounds, I was scared shitless. I had no idea what to do. So did she follow him? Or... Okay, I don't think she would have been on the bike, right? That was just a stupid idea. That thing was just, like, parked awkwardly and he ran into it. My plan had been to catch a train ride to Shinsen and get home that way, but now I was starting to regret my life choices.
怪我してませんか？
Kagashitemasen-ga. Girl A asked me timidly. Are we gonna give her an M? You 3D wench. I won't fall for your tricks. You won't fool me.
なんなんだよ。
It is so funny that he's such a, like, pussy. that makes it all worth it.
ついてくるなよ。僕に何の用だ。
Hey, people yearn to have cute girls following them all the time, and now that one's following you, you're not interested, bro? Come on. Bro's living a dream life. You tried to scuttle backward, but he was still flat on your ass. Well, of course you were still flat on your ass. You couldn't be scuttling if you weren't flat on your ass. Otherwise, you'd just be walking away. If I didn't get away from her, she'd reach into her jacket, pull out a knife, and jump me. All I could think was, that's how I'll end up. I mean, it's reasonable to be a bit crazy after seeing that shit. The girl hung her head, looking a little hurt.
あなたが急に走り
She
出
is a
して
bit crazy, I
様
think,
子
but
を
that's
見に来
nice.
たら倒れてたので心配で。でも今は用事とかあるわけじゃないんですが、
Hmm. She didn't want anything from me. What? That didn't make any sense. I agree.
じゃあなんで付きまとってくるんだ。
それは
You got toilet paper stuck on your shoe since the morning, bro. She was getting flustered. I just couldn't get over how suspicious she was acting.
私楠ゆあって言います。
You are. I haven't seen this name mentioned anywhere online, which lets me know that this is not like a not as popular of a character. I haven't seen that much art of anyone really, so I don't know. Pretty much the only things I know is like what's on the description, and the incest rat exists, I think, and the image of him sniffing someone's hair. That's the 3 things I know really. Yeah. Nobody asked her to, but she suddenly started introducing herself anyway.
実はあなたのこと一目見てなんとなく存在が気になって。
Yes.
それでつい
Sweet. She just instinctively started stalking me. The girl, whose name was Yua apparently, kept lowering her gaze as she
ご
talked.
めんなさい。
She bowed her head vigorously. No. Come back. There's no way. That was the only thing on my mind. I mean, I agree. This guy, I don't think he's really worth all that. But I mean, he seems perfectly adequate physically, despite being degen. You'd be surprised how, you know, I wasn't how many, how easy. I don't know what phrasing I'm looking for. Basically, I'm saying real sleeper builds. They exist. I might even be one. Who knows? I'm not sleeping though. I'm out there, and I'm not done with work. There's no way that this could go. That's really quite funny. But that was exactly why I couldn't trust her. A 3D girl who wanted to interact with me with good intentions. Now Takumi is speaking the language of the modern young man. What kind of eroge was this? My whole life, nobody ever said anything like that to me. There was no way I could take a confession seriously. It was just way too out of left field. I do think that this is... I do wonder how I would probably... I think I have... Like, there's no way I don't have the... in the real world, the emotional maturity to accept some kind of situation like this. I mean, minus the impracticality of what's actually happening right now. I'm saying, like, if someone had done that, maybe I would believe it, maybe not. Who knows? It's sort of not the world we live in, though. What, did she think I'd be jumping for joy or something? Did she forget she'd been stalking me until just now? Sure, that kind of thing might work in the 2D world, but IRL is a certified boner killer. Don't speak so soon. Also, this whole situation was really embarrassing. All I wanted was to get out of here ASAP. Just talking to her made me anxious. 3D really was total dog shit.
僕は3次元に興味はないよ。
She's like, good news, I'm in a vision novel.
いや、
The fact that that's his responses, though, is so funny, though.
め
What? Friend zoned? Is that what he's saying? You're freaking me out? I always started when I tried to say something. See, look, he's just a soft, kind boy at heart that's trying to put on this facade of, you know, like toughness. You know, societal expectations of being tough and strong have forced him to find an avenue of doing so online, and in turn lashing out at the real world where he cannot do it, bro. He's just a little chungus.
迷惑だよ。つきまとわないでよ。
すいません。
She sure looked disheartened. Maybe she'd actually meant it. No, don't fall for her. You can't trust anything about 3D women. You can only trust 2D. You can trust Hiratan far more than this harlot. Strong words, buddy.
もうついてこないでね。僕帰るから。
As I mumbled incoherently, I tried as hard as I could to stand up, but I struggled. My body was still hurting all over the place. My collarbone in particular was being a real bitch. Careful on that one, buddy. Pain was making me feel kind of dizzy. I might have hit my head when I fell down earlier. I almost fell over again, but Yua caught my hand and stopped me. She loves us.
怪我してるんですね。手貸します。
I tried really hard not to make eye contact. I could feel my face turning bright red. She definitely made fun of me if she noticed, so I turned away and forcefully shook her hand off. My mind was a total blank. I'd hardly, if ever, touched a female before. Except family members, of course. My heart was beating out of
お
my
家ま
chest.
で送ります。あなたが怪我したのは私がつきまとっちゃったせいですから。だから送らせてください。
Okurasete. Felt really happy when you asked me that. I wasn't really used to being treated kind about others. Every other 3D woman I'd interacted with before was utterly vile, but this girl, I was actually starting to want her a little bit. But I didn't have the courage to look her straight in the eye. I mean, she had been stalking me, and she also might have been related to the demon girl, by basis question mark, and I didn't want to die. His mind was a total blur. The hand.
お家どこですか？
深セン。
深セン？
I nodded before instantly regretting it. Why the hell had I told her that? Yumikam had put me on a lucky streak, so just so it could come to beat me down later. Death flag, huh? Oh god. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. So true. Oh yes, before I knew it, Yua was trying her best to prop me up with her shoulders. Her soft body was tightly pressed against mine, and I could smell a sweet scent coming from her long hair. This couldn't be real. There was no way a 3D girl was being this nice to me. I do wonder what her deal is, though. There's a deal. She could just love him from the 3 days that she goes into school.
歩けます。
I nodded in
じゃ
response.
あ行きましょう。
She's like skeletoning him. You know what I mean? Like a exoskeleton machine, but real. I couldn't turn her down or shake her off anymore. I was out of options. Let her do as she pleased. Can we get a CG of him walking? There was no way I could hold a half-decent conversation with a girl, let alone one I didn't know. You may be concussed also, which we didn't get into. I knew that the second I'd bring up anime and video games, she'd automatically go, ew, what a freak, just like every other 3D girl. She wouldn't even bother listening or trying to understand. This was me, like, not too long ago. Every time I, talk to people, we talk about interests. Most people these days have at least seen or been around some anime. At least they have a comprehension of it, right? Although other one third is actually like he's like extremely far from a otaku freak like me, but he's certainly like he's probably seen more OG like early anime movies, than me. I'm not gonna tell you which ones I haven't seen. Just so I don't have to get the comments about it. Although maybe I should just debate them. But just put in the comments which anime movies I should watch, though. But there's that. So there's like an interesting case, but also sort of like there's a bunch of mainstream enjoyers like you get into every now and then. I think it is important to at least have watched some mainstream adjacent or mainstream stuff just to like kick the ball back, right? But you also need to what I try to do at least most of the time is stand up for myself in a way. Like I think what people struggle to do is like genuinely just say what they think without ruining the entire vibe. I think you can do that. It's just a difficult line to balance between you don't want, as soon as someone brings up something, you don't want to be like, oh, you mainstream dog shit, fuck you, normie. You don't want to, if you're forced to be out and about, or you're trying to make friends at least, that's not going to work. But at the same time, if someone's like, isn't that a little weird? Isn't that, I don't really watch that kind of stuff. You got to know how to sell it and how to converse about it without losing it, you got to own it. If you own it and you have conversation charisma of a certain level, it just works, which is the secret that people don't tell you, to be honest with you. From my point of view, there's just no point talking to bitches like that. Don't call them bitches, bro.
ここでもういいから。
That grumble was about all I could muster, and I looked at Yua to make sure she understood it. She gave me a gentle nod in response and removed her arm from under me.
やっぱりお部屋までついていきましょうか。
He's gonna say no, right? I completely ignored her suggestion and walked toward the lobby. Well, I say lobby, it was really just a narrow entryway to the elevator hall.
大丈夫ですか?
He almost fell over again. Why was she
やっ
still
ぱり
here?
部屋まで送ります。絶対送りますから。
She sounded almost desperate. What's her deal? I hated to admit it, but you had been a huge help, and in the end, she had taken me all the way back to my base. First, we had to get there. First, we had to go all the way to the 8th floor, then take a steep flight of emergency stairs up to the roof. My current state, there was no way I could have ever possibly managed that alone. Imagine if you were helping someone home after you saw them get injured, and then they're like, "Yeah, my house is up here. 8 flights of stairs, 1 emergency flight of stairs. I'm living in a bunker on the roof." I'm still so concerned about this stuff being just like unattached to anything. But whatever. At least he has running water. I think that's running water. Yu wasn't strong in any sense of the word. She was very clearly running on fumes. I don't think that's how running on fumes That's not the context, unless you mean like at the very end of it. But like from the beginning to end, you can't be running on fumes. You have to have the fuel ended to be running on fumes, you know.
こんなところに住んでるんですね。
You always left speechless when you saw my container house. No surprise there. No people probably would never believe someone could live in a container.
なんかその憧れます。
Akogarimasu. Well, doesn't that mean she like it's like worthy of praise? Isn't that what it means?
アウトローな感じがしていいですよね。
Yeah,
こういうのって。
she meant in that sense. Like I admire your sense of rebellion. Akogarejo type shit. Was she just trying to flatter me or something? You won't fool me, wench. I will never fall for 3D ghost tricks. So true. Removed the padlock and stepped inside. Oh, she's in. We haven't seen this place in this set of lighting, huh? She takes off the wig. She takes off the glasses. I don't know who's behind the facade in this bit. Anyway, this is why you really couldn't beat staying indoors. I mean, kind of true, but you know.
真っ暗ですね。電気のスイッチはどこに？
Did she really not have any shame just coming into my room like this? I mean, to be fair, she had brought me all the way on her shoulder, but I really do want to see the rest of the room if I could help it. I mean, she's already in there, by the way.
もういいから。
床すごく散らかって、じゃなくて歩きにくいと思うんですけど、絶対危ないです。ソファーまで行きましょう。そこで話しますから。
It would be to further the bit. She just keeps going. No, you can't really sleep on your own. Let me sleep with you, etc. Like you could keep this bit going. In the end, I just kept on doing whatever she said. She quickly cleared them out of the way, and the couch is clean. Man, she's just so sweet and caring. Bro, fall for her. It's okay. Although, listen, her motives are still unclear. So, you know, for once, I think him having this... If his just because the origin of his concern is misguided doesn't mean the concern itself is not misguided. But you know what? At this point, she might just be nice. So.
平気ですか?
The two of us were all alone in the room. It was almost pitch black, save for the tiny bit of moonlight shining through the open doorway. As a result, I couldn't tell what sort of expression you had on her face. On the bright side, though, hearing a girl breathing in the dark was pretty hot. True? Very true. Come to think of it, it was the first time anyone aside from my little sister had ever seen my room, which was the first time I'd had an actual girl up here. If this were a game, then I would have tripped some sort of flag. But we did click the affirmative on the hallucination, or maybe this changes something. After that, soon enough, the mood became romantic, and before we knew, we'd be all over each other. That said, I wasn't expecting anything like that. Reality was complete and utter shit. It was nothing like the 2D world, and besides, this Yua girl was numb. She was a stalker. So yeah, we can't have it both ways. You can't say the real world is so terrible, and this girl isn't normal. But the normal is part of the real world. So like, the fact that she's a stalker should actually, if anything, be interesting to you in your current worldview. But whatever. Wait, why was she still here? Oh no, was her plan to get me alone in an isolated spot and do something horrible to me?
明かりのスイッチは
パソコンの
パソコン？あ、そうか。あのデスクライトですね。
The desk light. And then there was light. The darkness had put all sorts of embarrassing ideas and delusions in my head. Now that I could see you as face clearly, those fantasies made it hard to look around the eye without getting even more embarrassed than I already was. Could we not have seen any of those, bro? Panicked. I couldn't get any words out, so I just kept my head down.
これってプラチューのセイラちゃんですよね。
She knows! a girl who knows my wife's name. This cannot be.
知ってるの？
はい。プラチューは大好きで毎週見てます。セイラちゃんがお好きなんですね。私もヒロインの中では彼女が一番好きなんですよ。衣装も可愛いですし。
Her voice was full of joy. She was clearly speaking genuinely. There was no way she was just trying to trick me. Who'd have thought could Yua be a
女子
Fujoshi? Wait, but her liking, but the does that work?
あうん
Or is it just the contents of the show that would lend itself to Fujoshi? Well, maybe she just liked anime. You can be a Fujoshi. It's okay, I think.
あれフィギュアって言うんですよね。ちょっと見せてもらってもいいですか？あ、すみません。ずうずうしいこと言っちゃって。
She bowed repeatedly,
帰った方がいいですよね。
clearly flustered.
見ていいよ
Well, I couldn't say I didn't enjoy her laying the praise on my wife, so I might as well be a little nice to
本
her.
当ですか？ありがとうございます。
それは山陽堂版の覚醒前バージョンなんだセーラフィギュアはいくつか種類が出てるけど最初に出たやつ
He's so much cuter when he's being a little, like, subservient boy out loud. Now that he's been domesticated by Yua.
へえ。
あまりクオリティは高くないよ顔とか微妙に崩れてるしポーズも平凡すぎてあんまりエロくないしでも服の胸元部分をキャストオフできるのは今のところそれだけなんだ
胸元？
He got too when you get too honest at the function and everyone looks at you like, oh fuck, I want to be too honest with it.
ちなみに僕はセーラフィギュアは4種類全部揃えてるよそっちの棚に
She's out of her depth. She's like, I like it. I'm when you get out freaked by a fan. Oh no.
そんなに種類がすごいですね。
Oh no, she's tanking
一
it.
番評価が高いのはメイドバージョンなんだけど個人的には水着バージョンも悪くないよ
そうなんですか。見てみたいですね。でもちょっと暗くて。
もうすぐアルファから待望の覚醒後バージョンが出るんだけどこれはかなりクオリティ高そうなん
The
だ
ultimate post-awakening version.
キャストオフも胸元だけじゃなくてほぼ全身可能だっていうし表情もポーズも質感も言うことなしだね
So true.
あとはカラーさえバッチリなら今年発売されたフィギュアの中でも MVP 候補だよ
MVP Coco. Is it? I wonder. I do subscribe to a few, like, not subscribe, but like by making accounts. I'm like passively accepting emails just to see what kind of figures they got here and there, like Good Smile and such. It's just that the good ones is just so expensive. So my best bet may genuinely just be like some used stuff, you know, like a. That might be the play.
アルファ？
メーカーだよフィギュアの
なるほど。
She didn't know. Suddenly realizing what I'd done, I clapped my mouth shut. I've been rambling on for way too long. The self-reflection, tragic, had gone off on a tangent about goddamn anime girl figures, removal piece, and sexy pose. But I looked like a total idiot to you. I wanted to know what sort of face she was making, but I couldn't bring myself to look at her. Either way, that was obvious. She must have thought I was total human trash. Me? I'm averting my gaze? That didn't know me? That's when she called out to me, and I reflexively turned back to look at her. Her expression actually wasn't full of horror and disgust.
さっき言っていた戦闘バージョンとかメイドバージョンも見せてもらっていい
Why
で
did
す
you
か？
want to see the swimsuit version, bro? Someone that he said it was his favorite.
うんそっちの棚に
I was totally baffled. There wasn't a hint of anything on her face other than a wide, bright smile.
すごいですね。こんなにたくさん。
But there are actually 3D women that weren't disgusted by this stuff. I got news for you about the freaks that exist in this world. A 1 in a billion chance, but I suppose there were billions of people in this world.
メイドセーラちゃんってこれですね。ふむふむ。
Humu
アニ
humu.
メの印象とはちょっと違うけど、すごく可愛いです。下着までちゃんと作り込んであるんだ。こういうの実物で見たのは初めてですけど、いいですね。私も買ってみようかな。
Her little underwear. So true.
だったら覚醒後バージョンを予約した方がいいよ。あれは絶対おすすめだから。
そうですね。あなたの話を聞いていたら、その覚醒後バージョンは本気で欲しくなりました。
Is it all this delusion? Or is she real?
覚醒後って12話のあのシーンのことですよね。
よく知ってますな、お主。かなりのマニアですな。
Onushi is crazy. Hitting her with the Onushi.
好きですから。特にあの時の覚醒シーンは毎日録画したものを見返してます。
Okay, but I am increasingly concerned that she may be from one of those Jubilee style episodes where somebody pretends to be something that they're not in like a blind competition. She seems to be pretending a little bit. Although maybe it's just like I'm reading too much into like inconsistencies in translations and
あのシーンっ
whatnot.
て演出と作画宮地なんだ。だからクオリティ高くて当然。
宮地？
そういう神クリエイターがいるんだ。あの人の演出はマジで神だよ。アットちゃんの実況版でも神来たってなるし。
Kamikita. You mentioned that channel now, bro. It's over for you.
そうなんですか。
Well, she knows. She didn't even react. She's on.
すごく知識が豊富なんですね。私、スタッフが誰かなんてまるで気にしてませんでした。
監督と演出と脚本はチェックしとくといいよ。特に新作なんかはそれを調べ
This
る
is
だ
true.
けで内容の良し悪しが
This is just
大
how
体
you're
予測できるし。
supposed to do it. This is like if you know who's responsible for which elements, and then you know which elements you like, then you can, you know what I mean? Then you can. I'm making noises. I'm hand signing.
わかりました。今度からそうしてみますね。
He's in love. I'd made a girl smile. I never thought I'd see this kind of erotic stuff happen IRL, let alone to me. Usually 3D women, including my little sister, only ever smile whenever you're making fun of me. There had to be some kind of catch. There was just no other explanation. Don't listen to anything. That was his delusion, to be fair.
え、
こんなこと聞いていいかどうかわからないんですけど。
何？
Do you have any money? Your girl shy out of nowhere. She was looking down and avoiding eye contact. I love this pose. The music kicked in. I love it when a girl hits like the hands pointing outwards, like waddling almost.
聞かせてもらってもいいでしょうか。
Your name, Kimi no
あ
na
なたのお名
namae.
前。
Onamae. We're hitting the politeness on it.
名前？
Now that she mentioned it, you had introduced yourself to me, but I never returned the favor.
西条匠。
I was a little embarrassed. I ended up weakly mumbling it out.
西条匠くんですね。何年生？
あ、2年。
私は3年。私の方が年上さんですね。
Older women, etc. What do you... Of course, yes. What do you mean? Hello? This should not even be an option, buddy. We're in. We're tapped the fucking... I can click this even before. Oh man, I was getting dizzy from how much that sounded. Could Joy be the kind of older sister type? Damn it, trying to seduce me and shit. This woman was dangerous. She must be up to something.
それで西条くんにお願いがあるんです。
A request? Seriously? We're imagining. It's delusion time. Tapped in. She's getting on us right now.
私、あなたのことが好き
I
なんです。
wonder is if you click the no, because there's a neutral, right? And I've never done the neutral. I wonder if you just click no, does it mean that she goes like, I hate you, kill your... I shouldn't say that on Twitch, I suppose. But then the neutral is just like, you don't have a delusion? Or is the neutral option a neutral delusion? I wonder. Don't tell me, but I wonder. Because I'll find out later when I finish everything else.
ずっと西条くんのこと見てました。もう見てるだけじゃ嫌なんです。
Yua's face turned bright. Oh, fuck. And after her sudden confession, she abruptly started undressing. I'm gonna hit you with a quick just in case button, Neo. Okay, so far not bad at all. In fact, I think this should be fine. She's... I assume this is all good. I was so bewildered I could hardly bring myself to even peek at her, but when I did I noticed she wasn't just taking off her top but also her skirt. Her underwear flickered in and out of sight from beneath the hem of her blouse. It was black. So he says. Sure, it was being so bold despite being clearly embarrassed. Sure, it was a huge turn-off for me, but things were happening so suddenly my mind could hardly keep up. It took all my strength just to swallow that saliva that I built up in my mouth. Speaking of which, we should get some water. Just a bit. Oh shit. Next, Yo started fiddling with the buttons on her blouse. She was undoing them one by one from top to bottom. For some reason, that now is true. I wonder, was this swimsuit based on the fantasy decision that we did in the beginning? It must have been, right? Because I was like, yes, swimsuit, no to the name. I wonder if I said yes to the name, whether the name would be here. I have to assume maybe. For some reason underneath it, she was wearing a competition swimsuit. High leg swimsuit. It was skin tight. With the weight pressed in on her body, a little bit of her thighs spilled out over the edges. Peak. So those dark colored panties I'd caught glimpses of earlier were actually a swimsuit? Good job. How did a girl this timid have boobs this huge? They are bigger than I thought they were from the profile. Another thing, she didn't take her knee-high socks off. Yes, that is the right choice. And people will say, why are you wearing knee-high socks and swimsuit? It doesn't make sense. Are you new here? It doesn't make sense is the objection? It depends on the nature of the eroticism, I suppose. But the glass. Oh yes.
私のこと好きにしてください。めちゃくちゃにしていいですから。
いいですから.
No.
I was speechless. It was pretty strange for a 3D guy to say all this stuff to a guy she just met. No sane guy would do that. Sure, it was sexy, but it wasn't even remotely more. He's like, fuck, my imagination, I fucked this one up. My sense of reason threatened to completely shatter right then and there, and I struggled desperately to keep it contained. Well, we have to generate the next part of this bit.
だが断る.
It breaks. She's like, what? Huh? She rubbed her butt while on the verge of tears.
CD を踏んづけちゃったみたいです。本当にごめん
Oh
なさい。
shit, my bad.
私きちんと片付けますから。
いいよ。
What are the CDs? Just get out of here already. You've done enough. What the hell was that request you mentioned earlier? You started cleaning up the trash and CD case lying all over the floor, even though I told her she didn't have to. She looked so apologetic. It almost made me feel guilty, like I had done something wrong.
じゃあ、
Oh,
足
okay.
の踏み場だけで
She's going to tell us about the request.
確保させてください。すいません。その後でお願い言いますから。
Well, the way she just instantly started cleaning up, and thoroughly at that, she reminded me somewhat of my mom. Freud is listening, not caring in the slightest about what may cause problems for other people, rushing straight in to do whatever she pleased. You know, the typical meddler. In that case, I should probably start helping her, shouldn't I? Oh shit, he's trying to create a meet cute after meeting. We'd both reach for a piece of trash at the same time. Our hands would touch, and they would both say, ah, ah, ah. It's not that kind of ah. Then we were staring into each other's eyes. I don't know what the fuck I just did, by the way. Just soaking in the glow of the moment, right? Wrong. The fuck do you think this is? Some kind of rom-com? No way in hell was I helping her. Women work for me. No. Her back was turned, so I couldn't tell what she just picked up. She just picked up the cum-stained pages of Dojin number 2. Oh, come on, Nako.
気にしないでください。
Yes, that one. Can you Schneider, the other one. What was she so nervous about? Something about it made me suspicious. Come to think of it, she was essentially ransacking my room at this point. What if she was trying to steal something? Maybe she was thinking that I had so many figures I wouldn't notice if one went missing. But little did she know she was dead wrong. I'd perfectly memorized every single waifu on that shelf. So true.
フィギュアには触らないでね。
はい。いえ、違うんです。そのブラチューの同人誌っていうんですか？それが落ちてまして、ちょっと中身を見てみたら。
Shit, they're all porn.
すごかったのでびっくりしました。
勝手に見ないでよ。
すいません。
But she liked it, bro. What do you mean? You gotta. This is your chance. This is literally your chance. This is the easiest in you've ever had. Anyway, she tied it up and sat down in front of us. I missed that one.
さっき言ったお願い。
What did she sit down on? Sorry, what? She just cleared a space. She's on the floor. Finally, I gulped and instinctively braced myself for impact.
フィギュアの予約一緒に行ってもらえませんか？私そういうアニメショップみたいなところって今まで行ったことなくて、で、私なんだかすごくぶしつけなお願いしてますよね。私のせいで西条くんは怪我をしたのに。
Yes. This was some dangerous territory. I couldn't afford to just blurt out an answer. On one hand, you and I had shared interests. Hell, she was even a fan of Sarah. She also seemed very interested in what I had to say, which meant she was someone I could get along with as an otaku. Otaku? Well, on the other hand, it had to be some sort of trap. There was no way in hell something like this, something so perfect, would actually happen to me in real life. It was an eroge cliche, nothing more. I couldn't let 3D corrupt me. But how could you as true gold be?
今のお願いは私西条くんがいろいろ
She found a kindred spirit, bro. Don't ruin this for her.
嬉しくて。
You were sat there with her head hung low. Pretty much every 3D girl was insanely full of themselves, and meanwhile this girl was remarkably timid. And there was no way a 3D girl could be so pretty and have such a cute personality. Funny how that works, question mark? I'm trying to think about what he's saying here. Everyone knew that, meaning she had to be faking it. Which part though? I'd turn her down. I'd gather all my strength, all the power vested in me as a man, and shoot her down. But it's got nothing, bro. He's a wimp as soon as he opens his mouth. All you do is get him in person, and he'll just be like, yep. I don't see the tears, to be honest with you. They appear to be welling up. Had I just made her cry? Oh no, give me a break. What a life or death situation. I'd never experienced anything like this outside of video games. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I was even starting to feel a little guilty. They say that women weaponize their tears, but only now was there really starting to ring true for me. Honestly, I had absolutely no clue how to deal with it. I was getting more and more nervous by the second. We can go together, I tried to say, but ultimately I couldn't bring myself to. Because if I did, surely she'd just say like something like, "Ew, this dumbass actually look at seriously, what a freak." Call it a persecution complex, but that was how I felt. Bro who recognizes his persecution complex and obeys it? I just couldn't do it. I guess that's probably a lot of people.
私のわがままに西条くんを付き合わせるのは良くないですし。
She's crying. Saw a single tear dripping out from the corner of her eye. We've got braveness. We saw a girl crying and we said we can stand up to this task.
言って ですか？
I had no choice but to nod. I couldn't think of any other way to make her stop crying. Still, it felt like I was stepping right into a trap. I do wonder what's going on with this. Also, this guy's got a very ergo chair, bro. I mean, the seats of the pillow seat, like, situation going on here is a bit sussy, but the rest is chill. Trying to analyze anything else I can even determine about this room, to be honest with you. It's not much. Just a bunch of stuff, really. Fridge. She took a deep breath, took off her glasses, and wiped away her tears.
断られて当然だと思ってたのに。西条くん、ありがとうございます。
She was thanking me. Seemed like I'd been able to stop her from completely breaking down. Maybe I should be the one thanking her. Shit. How did I get myself into such a mess? Goddamn 3D women. You can never let your goddamn around them. So these translations get me speaking American, to be honest with you. But luckily I'm fluent in both American and fucked up British Australian. Should not be British at all, but I just watched too much YouTube that had British accents in it, and then it sort of fell out that way.
行くとしたらいつがいいでしょう？
Hold on, what the hell had her sad-looking expression gone? Only a second had passed and she was already looking happy as a clam. Happy as a clam? Is that a thing? I think I've heard it before, but I'm just wondering how it existed. Maybe some clams just looked like they were smiling when they exist. But also, I mean, she was stalking you. She's crazy. So, mood swings, I guess. It works. But you can be a bit crazy, and that's true. It's fine. Those really were crocodile tears, weren't they? If so, she should win a fucking Academy
セイラちゃん
Award.
の新しいフィギュアはもうすぐ発売なんですよね。
She's an agent of the state.
うん。きっとすぐに完売しちゃうだろうね。
だったら早めに行った方が良さそうですね。明日とか。
According to my schedule, I needed to go to school tomorrow. That made it 3 times total this week. Then the week after, I'd only have to go twice. I had a feeling that tomorrow was gonna suck even more than usual, but I'd already told you I'd go with her. If I tried changing my mind now, she'd start the waterworks all over again. So true?
わかったよ。
I like that he says, the way that he's phrasing it is like he was pressured into it. Well, it kind of is, to be fair. I was incredibly reluctant, but still I agreed. You seemed happy to hear that, but you couldn't fool me with that face of
西条
hers.
くんは何組？明日放課後に迎えに行きますよ。
B 組。
Sorry, can I?
2年 B 組ですね。じゃあ授業が終わったら待っててください。
Sorry, am I going crazy?
B 組。
Doesn't he clearly say B? Why does it say C? And she says C. She said B as well.
2年 B 組ですね。
Ninen B gumi.
じゃあ授業が終わったら
Why
待
does
っ
it
ててくだ
say
さい。
2C, bro? I'm losing my mind. I'm not quickly in response, hoping that'd make her leave faster. Wait, I just made a promise to hang out with a girl.
それじゃあ長い間お邪魔しちゃってすいませんでした。足もし痛かったらお医者さんに行ってくださいね。
So true.
あ、うん。
But now she knows where he lives now. She waved goodbye and
Mrs.
exited out the front door,
Mata
if you can call it that. Mata ashita.
また明日だってさ。
だってさ。
しかも手を振ったりして。
Yes, he's succumbing to the 3D world. I felt like I was about to melt with bliss, so I quickly stiffened back up. 10-hour hentai gooning session, we cannot let the real world defeat us type situation, maybe.
あの女絶対僕に惚れてる。間違いないね。
Well, that's maybe it's not the worst outcome that you could take away from this. She can fix you, I think.
まあ付き合うか付き合わないかは僕に選択肢があるわけだし、あの女を情け容赦なく振ってやるさ。
He's coping. Let
お
him
前は
let him
僕
have
の
it.
女にふさわしくない。セイラよりいい女になって出直してこい。まあ一生無理だけどな。何しろセイラは永遠の17歳だからな。みたいな。
He's trying. There was no way any girl could ever be better than Seira-tan, but she could cosplay her, and that's close enough. I picked up the Seira figure and rubbed her against my cheek, and Seira-tan couldn't have looked happier. The delusion's gonna show up again? She gonna be back?
おっと、時間か。今のところテストに。
We're gonna leave it there. The lion's gonna play again. Don't even fret. I think I'm gonna have to split this into 2 episodes, so I forgot to say like and subscribe in the first instance. But like and subscribe and comment and other YouTuber shit. And enjoy. Well, pretty good episode, but we had 2 sets of delusions, and I'm still sort of... Well, 3 sets, right? 3 sets of delusions, actually. I guess here you can literally see the times and dates when I'm streaming it, so it's not like it'll be that difficult to determine. The concept of, well, yeah, these 3. I still don't know entirely how we're changing the world, because obviously there's going to be some world changing. That's sort of the... Like Stan's Gate, there was world changing in the sense of the world, right? So, it's gonna... I think... this being the sort of ancestor, there's going to be elements of world changing, right? I also do wonder at which point we're going to get into around... It seems like it would... There might be like a key event type thing. It might be like rewrite in that sense. I don't actually know. But we'll see. But yeah. Thank you for watching. That's all we got. See ya.